Shalom. Shalom. Ahab wa Baraka. First and foremost, you already know what it is. There we go. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kadash. All right, today we're going to get right into it. You know, I've been wanting to bring this class out for a minute, but the Most High works, you know, he tells you when and when not to do stuff. And right now, he's saying, okay, now you can bring it out. This is a, let's just go into it, right? Today we're going to get into the leadership, to our leadership. Let's go into the book of, let's start at Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 65, KJV. All right, we're gonna start at verse 11. All right, Isaiah 65 and 11. But ye are the forsakers of the Lord, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and furnish a drink offering unto that number. Therefore, I will number you to the sword, and ye shall be bowed down to the slaughter, because when I called, you did not answer. When I spake, you did not hear, but did evil before in my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delight not. So he's saying that he told us what to do. We chose something else. We decided that it wasn't in our best interest to follow his instructions. Let's go to let's jump over to Isaiah chapter 30. And we're going to start at from the top. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So they're covering themselves in sin, not in the Holy Spirit and doing things the way the Most High taught us and through his instructions. They're going against that completely. Let me jump back over to let's go to the book of Jeremiah chapter 17. Won't let me go to Jeremiah 17 now. I should have brought my Bible. I knew it. I might end up doing the rest of this class at home. Jeremiah chapter 17, starting at verse 24. And it shall come to pass, if you diligently hearken unto me, saith Yahweh, to bring in no burden through the gates of this city on the Sabbath day, but hallow the Sabbath day, to do no work therein, then shall there enter into the gates of the city kings and princes sitting upon their throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, they and their princes, the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and this city shall remain forever, and they shall come from the cities of Judah, and from the places about Jerusalem, and from the land of Benjamin, and from the plain, and from the mountains, and from the south, bringing burnt offerings and sacrifices, and meat offerings, incense, and bringing sacrifices of praise unto the house of the Lord. But, if you will not hearken unto me to hallow the Sabbath day, and not hear a burden, even or indeed entering into the gates of Jerusalem on the Sabbath day, I will kindle a fire in the gates thereof, and it shall devour the palaces of Jerusalem, and it shall not be quenched. So he's saying if we don't follow the instructions, giving us the Sabbath being first and foremost over here in this passage, saying that he's going to destroy our nation of people, and we will never come back to normal. We're never coming out of this until Yahushua gets here. Let me keep going. Book of Ezekiel. Oops. Ezekiel, let's go to the book of Ezekiel 5, chapter 5. And we're going to start at verse 4. Again, take a few of these and throw them into the fire and burn them up, and I will spread from them there to all Israel. I want to make sure I'm going to... This is what the sovereign Lord said. I was wondering what was wrong. They switched over to the New International Version. I was trying to figure out why the verses weren't matching up all of a sudden. I can tell that right away. Now, starting at verse 4, then take of them again, and cast them into the midst of the fire, and burn them in the fire. For thereof shall a fire come forth into all the houses of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, this is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and the countries that are round about her. And she hath changed my judgments into wickedness more than the other nations, more than the nations that are round about you, and have not walked in my statutes, the statutes, neither kept my judgments, the judgments, neither have you done according to the judgments of the nations round about you. So we didn't even keep the laws of the other nations. Why do you think we're in this captivity? Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, and will execute judgment in the midst of thee in the sight of the nations. So he's going to execute his judgments, and all the nations are going to watch as he puts judgment on us. And that's been happening for a very long time now. These are our captivities, plural. This is our last captivity, singular. This is the last one. Let me keep going just a little bit further. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, indeed I am against thee, and will execute judgment in the midst of thee in the sight of the nations. 9. And I will do in thee which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of all thine abominations. Let me show you something that he did to us that's never happened before in history, and it's never going to happen again in history. I'm going to show you exactly what he's talking about right now. Watch this. And you guys should know this right away. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. stupid thing won't. Let's try one more time. Deuteronomy. It won't do it, and it won't give me the damn. Oh, there it is. Okay, finally. It wasn't giving me an option. It wouldn't give me the option to just type it in. Now, this is ridiculous. Satan cometh immediately when the word comes out and tries to take away the word that was sown in your heart. Deuteronomy 28:68. We were just saying in Ezekiel 5:4-9 that he would do something to us in front of all the nations. He would judge us in front of all the nations like something that we had never seen before and will never see again. Let's see. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again by ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. He just told you, I'm going to do something to you in front of all the nations, and it's never going to happen that way again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondsmen and bondswomen, and no one shall buy you. So the way that he put us into this captivity had never happened before in history, and will never happen again in this ever. We went on slave ships for over 600 years, which is called the transatlantic slave trade. All nations saw that, and all nations had a part in it, and we are now scattered to the four corners of the earth because of it. Clearly. Let's get back into it. Let's go to the book of, back to the book of Jeremiah. Jeremiah, let's go to Jeremiah 32. And start at verse 28. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will give this city into the hands of the Chaldeans, and into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and he shall take it. So the Chaldeans are the Edomites, and they are going to destroy this place. Let me keep going. And the Chaldeans that fight against this city shall come and set fire on this city, and burn it with the houses upon whose roofs they have offered incense unto Baal, and poured out drink offerings unto other gods to provoke me to anger. Everything you guys do in this society provokes Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waha, Raha Akadash, it's you've provoked him to anger. Everything about our society is provoking him to anger. I mean, you name something out here and I'll tell you what's wrong with it. You can leave it in a comment. What about this? And I'll explain to you why. The only thing that isn't destroyed in this society is this book. The only thing that isn't destroyed is this book. Let's keep going. For the children of Israel and the children of Judah have only done evil before me from their youth. The children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith Yahweh. So, all we've done since our birth is go off and be bugged out. But there's a few of us that he decided to wake up to start this narrow path again. And on that narrow path, only one person can walk at it at a time. So, we're destroyed. Our leadership's destroyed. Everything about this place is destroyed except for this book and the instructions he gave us to follow. That way we can get out of this place. Let's jump back over to the book of Isaiah. And I'm going to show you. Let's read this again real quick. For the children of Israel and children of Judah have done evil before me from their youth. The children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith the Lord. Okay, let's go to the book of Isaiah. Whoops. Isaiah, we're going to go to chapter 30. and we're going to start at we're just going to read verse 9. This is a rebellious people, blind children that will not hear the law of Yahweh. They don't want the truth. They're not going to listen to anything you say. So you got to realize that. Let's go to the book. Let's go back into the book of Jeremiah. Chapter 21. And we're going to start at verse 9. He that abideth in the city shall die by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goeth out and falleth to the Chaldeans that besiege you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him as a prey. So he's literally telling us if we try and run from our captivity, he's going to kill us. But if we do what he says, even in the captivity, go be captives by the Chaldeans or die. So either and the Chaldeans will let you live if you do go and become a captive, if you fall in front of them. So he's telling them, you guys got to go over here and you got to be slaves. And if you don't, that's it. You're out. There's nothing for you here because he's going to destroy you. Let me read one more. For I have set my face against this city for evil, not for good, saith Yahweh. It shall be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. This is a physical burn down. He's not only destroying the city like with the people, but he is physically going to burn this place down. Let's go over to Jeremiah chapter 34. And we're going to start at, we're just going to read verse 2. Thus saith Yahweh, the God of Israel, go and speak to Zedekiah king of Judah, and tell him, thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will give this city into the hands of the king, into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. This place is literally going to get burned down. And the Most High ain't joking about it either. He keeps telling him, he's giving him warning. Either you go with the Chaldeans or I'm going to kill you. So let's jump forward to verse 22. Behold, I will command, saith the Lord, and cause them to return to this city, and they shall fight against it, and take it, and burn it with fire, and I will make the cities of Judah a desolation without inhabitation. It's desolate, no inhabitants. Judah is destroyed. Okay? Let me jump over to the book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 83. Psalms chapter 83. Man, this computer is not allowing me to go everywhere. It's telling me that Psalms doesn't exist now. Double check my spelling. Psalm chapter 83. And we're going to read verses 3 and 4. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may no longer be in remembrance. The Chaldeans wanted us gone a long time ago. Those Chaldeans are the modern day Europeans right now. They wanted to cut us off from being a nation back then. And this is truth. This is the truth. They've been wanting us gone. But watch this. I'm going to prove that they did everything they could to stop us from being a nation. Let me see. It might give me a hard time on this one. see. I don't know if it's going to let me get to the Maccabees. I need to show you in the Maccabees. Second Maccabees 6 and 6. All right, we got it. And I'm coming out of this program. Sorry, guys. You know how these computers are, and they just don't want to cooperate all the time. Second Maccabees Chapter 6. Watch this. Second Maccabees Chapter 6 and 6. Well, remember they said they took crafty counsel to cut us off from being a nation, let them no longer know that let them no longer speak the name of Israel. That's a paraphrase, obviously. I'm trying to find this other verse. But Second Maccabees Chapter 6, verse 6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days. I just showed you in the beginning, if we don't keep the Sabbath days, it's going to burn down Jerusalem. Well, it's against the law now. By the time the Maccabees are around, neither was it lawful for a man to keep the Sabbath days or ancient fasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. It was illegal for you to tell anybody that you were an Israelite. That's probably why the people say, oh, well, I ain't no Israelite, because you still got that spirit on you that they're going to kill your ass for knowing who you are. But I get it, somewhat. Stand up for what you believe in is what I say. And if that means standing up for your family, then stand up for your family. So let's go to Psalm 74. And we're going to start at verse 7. They have cast fire into thy sanctuary. They have defiled by casting down the dwelling places of thy name to the ground. You see that? Woo! I'm going to get one more verse, and then I'm going to do a part 2 to this video because of my computer just will not let me in, and I keep fighting it to get to every verse I'm going to. So we're going to go to Jeremiah 14 and 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are blackened to the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. The whole nation is mourning, mainly the leadership, because Judah is the top tribe. They're mourning. Because why? They didn't follow the instructions. And they physically got their whole place destroyed. And now that they're going into captivity in Babylon under Nebuchadnezzar. They physically burnt the gates to the ground. And in Hebrew, it does say Kedar. So if you've ever watched a piece of wood burn, what happens is it'll start to ash up, and the ash will flake off and then fly away. The word Kedar means black, ashy skin. They burnt the gates down so bad it looked like black, ashy skin on the ground, physically. Also, those gates being burned down represent the rulership. It's completely destroyed. Now, with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some more of this lesson back at the homestead. Shalom.